Your responses are interjections. Leave your answers to our questions and we'll talk about them all way. Lately online and on Twitter, there has been a large discussion around proxying cards in EDH from all different facets. So, we asked you, do you agree or disagree with this statement? It's okay to own one copy of a very expensive card, keep it in a safe place, and proxy it for all my EDH decks.
We've got some comments to go over. The video starts right now.
Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to the day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel are Magic. We are going to talk about your responses to our community question about proxies in EDH. But before we do, if you would, go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out.
It's the best way to support the channel. With just the click of a button, we're going to talk through some of these responses. Let's talk a little bit about how we feel about proxies, because I think that's important for us to just kind of disclose what our playgroup specifically does. Essentially, whoever has, I don't know, the top tier deck, everybody just kind of bases that level of proxies off that. It's kind of evolved into this thing over time where we just allow proxies because we don't want anybody to be turned off to the game simply because of a price barrier. And I'm not going to tell somebody at the table, hey, I don't want you playing that. I don't want, you know, the nightly gaming session to be an argument about what cards are in what deck. It's mostly about the camaraderie, being able to sit at the table, have a couple beers, hang out with my friends. That's just me.
I mean, it's been said before, I want to beat you. I don't want to beat your wallet. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Now, it's not to say that we don't absolutely dunk on anybody that's using a proxy. You will get made fun of until your entire eyebrows are charred off. However, we totally allow it, and it's completely fine.
No, I mean, and you know, Joel is just exaggerating there. I mean,
course.
we're a lot more chill about it. You know, it'll just be like, and I'm gonna go ahead and play my proxied ancient tomb.
Right.
And it's like there's one ancient tomb that exists.
Yeah, it's in like a folder.
Run it
it's over there on the shelf.
Decks.
Right.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say.
It's really about saving time. Like, who likes sitting there with that one friend who's like, hold on, guys, I need to switch my entire deck over.
Looking at you. You know who you are. I'm looking at you.
Who you are. You know who you are, Cedrus. Anyway, no, it's definitely a thing, but I guess let's go ahead and talk about how the community feels. I think you know how we feel.
I was going to say I use them in two main ways. One, to test out a new deck. There have been multiple times where I'm like, is this deck too degenerate? Is anybody going to want to play against it again? Have I finally perfected, you know, the land destruction formula where it's fun to play against? The answer is no. I didn't end up buying that deck. Or, like Jake was alluding to, I have one copy of a very expensive card. It's in a protector over on the shelf. You can go look at it if you want. It's with a pile of other expensive cards like Wheel of Fortune and all the Planeswalkers from the War of the Spark Mythic Edition. They're all over there sitting. This is the proxy of it. You can check them out if you need to check my math. Like Jake said, that's our opinion. I think you get that we have a very casual stance on this. Let's jump over into the community poll. So, with 508 precincts responding, it is okay to own one copy of a very expensive card, keep it in a safe place, and proxy it for all my EDH decks. 83% said they agree with this statement, and 17% said they don't agree with this statement. So the overwhelming majority of people are cool with this. Jake, let's go through some of these comments.
Yeah, let's go through it. And before we do go through it, I just want to say this. We talk about Gaea's Cradle a lot, and as cards like this become more expensive, you have people seeking out like gold border copies of the card. A gold border Cradle is now $150. That card isn't even legal in sanctioned tournaments.
It's crazy to me.
And so just wrap your head around that. You know, people just want to play the game. So let's go ahead and talk about it.
Epically Fatal Error said, the only thing I don't like about proxying is when someone builds their own CEDH level deck and knows the play group isn't that strong. Basically, you should use within reason in line with your group's social contract. Jake, that's almost exactly what you said.
I started pointing to myself because I know that's exactly how we feel. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like, yeah.
Yeah, Thomas Omstead said cards are for the people, so should be affordable for all. So we got some kind of socialist that believes in proxies here. Wizards of the Stick says better than pulling it out of one sleeve and putting it into another every time you want to use a different deck. Completely agree. Jason W, if the proxies are well made, easy to tell what the card is, and you don't have to own it all as far as I'm concerned. Just don't pretend they're real cards. I'd rather have more people play the game than be behind some sort of ridiculous paywall.
Dude, I've talked about this at our LGS, and it just reminds me, he was talking about why not just make a supplemental set. You know it's going to sell like crazy, and it just has all of these like reserve list cards, but it has just like a freaking, like a gold border around it, like modern gold border cards, or just something that lets you know.
Yeah, like a watermark across the whole thing or something.
It's just a placeholder card. I mean, imagine being able to pull like a foil Gaia's Cradle that isn't tournament legal, and you bought it out of a pack that's like, I don't know, $3 or $4.
Yeah.
It just seems like an untapped market, especially as EDH gets to this point where you have so many people that are going to, people that are making, bootleg and counterfeit cards, or people that are making their own custom proxies. It just seems like, I don't know.
No, I
Something
completely
needs
agree.
to be addressed.
Look at this. Baran actually said that whenever they play limited, they will proxy a chase foil or high-end mythic in their pool at their draft and just tell their opponent before the game, this card is a proxy for this card. I think that's very interesting. I've never seen that in any of the drafts that I've ever played in, and I'm assuming you would have to get...
I have. I've
You've
definitely
seen it before?
seen people do that.
Nice.
Yeah. I've seen
you do a lot more paper drafts than I do.
In Modern Masters 2015, somebody opened a foil Kozilek. They didn't want to play it in their limited pool, so they had a judge come over and do an official proxy for them so that they could put the card in their binder. Looking back on it, oh my god, those Modern Masters 2015 foils were so awful. You probably did want to play it in the deck. It didn't really matter.
Right.
But anyway, just an opinion.
I like this person's take that the proxies need to be clearly, unmistakably marked as proxies, and then they're okay. It's like you said in the opener, Jake, we always announce whatever form of whatever card we're playing. We're like showcase for blah, 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 blah. I definitely always say, and I'm going to play my proxy, Erebos, God of the Dead, because I had like a really nice full foil, full art, no text box version made, and that's the one that I announce and play onto the battlefield with fanfare. So I completely agree with that. Mr. Azuma says, it's okay to proxy all cards. We don't know Hasbro anything. I play with real cards, though. So this person owes Hasbro nothing, but has definitely paid Hasbro a couple of dollars throughout their MTG career. I don't really understand this comment. I tried to read it a few times. They agree, except for the proxy part.
I rock my damaged Mox Diamond and my LED every game night. Double sleeves and good deck box will do the trick. I don't own things like Bazaar Baghdad or Mishra's Workshop, but I don't think I would act otherwise. I proxy when I need multiple copies for different decks. Yeah. Agree, except for the proxy part.
Oh, whatever. We're moving on from that one. Scotty Skips, I like this one because this is some kind of art critic. I agree, but make the proxy look nice. Don't just Sharpie a name on a basic land. Cedrus, we're looking at you yet again. Make the
printer.deck, man.
Right, exactly.
Just use an inkjet printer and people are going to be fine with that. What we do is we go the extra mile. If we proxy cards, we just put a little tape, we cut them out nice with scissors.
Oh, yeah.
Put your favorite show on that you're planning on watching. Cut the cards out. Make them look nice. Get some double-sided tape.
Tiny
That's
piece.
it.
Make sure you rotate where you put the double-sided tape, or you will have a column through the middle of your deck. I've learned this the hard way the very first time I did this.
Hot tip right there.
Make sure that your little piece of double-sided tape is in a different place every single time you put a card on, or you will have this like thick tape column that builds up over time. I always do this. Like, all you need is one copy, so if you own the copy, why not reuse it? and I completely agree. You would be flipping through.
I mean, think about it like MTG Arena. MTG Arena, right. You need to own one copy of the card. You can put same it in way. Every single deck that you want to put it in. Just shows up there. You know, it's just saving time. Dude, the average human being lives for like 675,000 hours. That's it. We don't, like, most of us don't even make it to 700,000 hours. So you have to think, in that amount of time, most of it that you spend sleeping, do you really want to spend all of that time waiting for one of your friends to move their freaking force of will back and forth between every deck that they run blue in? I don't think we could say it more clearly.
It's the same thing on MTGO. I own one copy of most of all of the premium, like, mana rocks and neutral lands that can go in every deck, just because I'm like, all right, well, I'm probably going to put this out in there. It'll be one of the first cuts if I have to, synergize my whole strategy better. But I can start with these, 9 to 15 cards, and I only need one copy of it. I don't need any more than one copy on my whole Mitgo account because I only use that account for Commander. Dragon Ball Talk says, proxy it even if you don't own it. Wish.com Blue Core.
Oh God, it's Dragon Ball the best in here with the trolly comments.
I don't know what this is.
He's talking about bootleg MTG cards that you can find on Reddit, our bootleg MTG. But these are people, and not all of them are bad. Before you get your pitchforks out, a lot of people who are talking about wanting nice looking proxies for their high end cards. A lot of these cards, these blue core and black core cards that you buy off of these subreddits they're gonna pass in a sleeve, but as soon as you hold them in your hands, you're gonna be able to tell they're not like a legit card. The only people that are scummy that want these cards are people who want to try to pass them off as authentic cards. They want to try to sell them on eBay and stuff like that. Other than that,
I mean,
buy what you want.
I get more comfortable the further it is away from looking like an actual MTG card. Very clearly a proxy or marked somehow. If you're going to get one of these, whatever this website is, I don't want to endorse it anymore, but whatever, if you're going to go to that site, make sure, that like maybe it has a stamp in the bottom right or something that just is very clear. If I was going to get something like that, I actually would get some kind of actual stamp that says the word proxy on it, and I would pop it right over the art, just so unequivocally, I never am in a situation where it has to pass off, or it's going to pass off as a real card. If somebody stole it from me, I don't want somebody else to get scammed down the road because I purchased that and kind of contributed to the whole distribution.
That's true.
Make it very clear.
If you own those cards, it really is like you got to treat it like a quarantine. You're trying to make sure that those cards are well accounted for. You know which ones they are. You make sure that you don't let them spread, because as soon as they make it into the community, someone is going to get hosed. It might not be you, but karma is a thing, and it will come back around.
There are just too many small, creators that make foil pill altars and painted altars and digital altars that you can obtain them from, and they're very clearly proxies. I'm biased. I don't care about card money value, so I wouldn't spend that much money on a card to begin with. Mr. E Meat, I think you're watching the wrong channel. Wolfstrider Gaming, I'm fine with proxies just as long as you own them, because I own some really expensive cards, and double sleeving doesn't always stop bad people. That's 100% right. Michael Chua, and what if 10 of your other decks require Mana Crypt? I wouldn't make anyone want to buy 10 Mana Crypts.
Yeah,
that's true.
Sure.
Absolutely. But I think this person is agreeing. Mike is very aggressively agreeing with Wolfstrider Gaming. Got it. Shane, to wrap this up, agree, but I use them, but you don't have to. And that, I think, is the best place to close the book on the proxy discussion. Yo, we really appreciate y'all watching. We're going to try something new with this series. Watch our community tab and make sure you're subscribed. Questions will go out. Not every single thing that we ask or post on the community tab will be for Way, but we will try to mark them specifically so you'll know, if I answered this one in Way, I might make it on to the episode. And honestly, not all of the questions are going to be this one-sided. We went through some answers, Jake, and it was pretty much just, yes, I agree with this. You can do it. Why are you even asking this? Even though 508 people voted.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that we need to talk about more moving forward, because you want the game to be accessible, but you just have to decide within your playgroup, what power level is our playgroup, and build accordingly. And before we sign this off, I just want to say this, we decided toward the end of, before you moved across the country and stuff, when we were still playing paper, we had kind of moved our play group to the understanding that, it's like, okay, you're using dual lands in these cards, but you're not using cards like Moat and Nethervoid and really high-end, really powerful cards, and everybody just kind of matched their proxies to that level. So maybe that will work for you. Maybe it's just like, okay, you can do any card that's $200 or less and then go from there and see how it goes.
Right. We even had, special rules like special mulligans that was just kind of our house mulligan that would help ensure that nobody got mana screwed. Because, we wanted to facilitate decent games. We didn't want anybody sitting there stuck on 3 mana or just absolutely bomb out of the game, because that's no fun. We're just sitting there to, hang out, shoot the crap, drink a beer, play some EDH. That's all we like to do.
That's it. So we really do hope you enjoyed this series. We look forward to asking you in the future. We asked you, we heard you, we responded. Until next time, I'm Tapped Out.
Tapped Out.